say, okay, we are going to succeed in reducing global warming. But our effort is very, I'm talking about humanity. Definitely, we were able to exert the very fact that we came together to discuss. I think that is a very positive sign. Here, for your information, I request you to watch David Attenborough and his episodes, particularly his testament. His testament is very important. He has given a witness statement. He is now 97 years old, still working. He started his career at the age of 20, and that means for the past 77 years he has been working on this wonderful subject of protecting the wilderness areas of the planet Earth. His episodes will definitely enlighten us. They are needed to understand the subject. That is, simultaneously, I request all of you to please watch in the YouTube lectures by Yuval Noah Harari. Yuval, Yuval, or you can simply type Harari and you will get him. He is an Israeli historian, but he is creating intellectual waves worldwide. He is not even 50 years, but what a wonderful contribution. He is compelling everybody to sit and think. Particularly, all his books, three books are very important. I request all of you to please follow. I come back to the subject. 1992 Rio Conference, apart from UNFCCC, there was a resolution on desertification. There was a resolution on Convention on Biodiversity, which is most of you are already aware. I request all of you to please look into the internet and work very deeply on this very important subject, because it is your very own subject, particularly deals with protection of life in different ecosystems. It also deals with progress, facilitating access and ensuring the sharing of benefits with the local people worldwide in every ecosystem, because they are the people who have been protecting life wherever it is, in whatever form. It could be in the deep forests of Amazon, Congo, or in the Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, Himalayas, and so on. Friends, the local people who were always living in harmony with nature, they are the people who know the subject. They are the people who really know the subject. Therefore, we academicians, we need to connect with them, protect their, knowledge, acknowledge them, and when some industry tries to make use of it for the common benefit of humanity, they may be permitted, but then they have to ensure that a part of the profits, they need to share their profits with the local people who have been protecting it so far. Now, CBD, I request all of you to make a chart and a list of the years whenever the conference took place and the progress, and finally you should be an authority on that subject because it is your subject. Then we come to sorry friend, this is so then we come to year. There's one more point regarding 1992, and that is it's important that we recognize the action plan which was given out to the world. It is known as Agenda 21. Agenda 21. I request everyone to know it is there in the internet. You can download it, and it's very simple. It is nothing but it can be described as a package of practices to be adopted by the people and the nations of the world in order to prepare themselves. That is, every country in the world should adopt and prepare itself in order to enter the 21st century on an environment friendly note. Now, what does it mean? It means that that particular country must come up with new laws to curtail pollution, right? Water Acts, Air Act, Environment Act, create institutions for the implementation of the acts, and prepare the grounds. Introduce the subject in the schools and colleges and universities, and give the subject the much needed fillip, because this is the subject humanity needs. Agenda 21 is important because it concerns the lifestyle of the people. Therefore, I request everyone to connect. Now, one last point before we enter the 21st century, and that is, you may be wondering what about the depletion of the ozone layer. I wish to point out that even before Rio conference, in the year 1987 itself, humanity was able to agree, because under the aegis of the UN, the nations of the world met in Montreal, Canada, in 1987, September, and they agreed to stop the production and usage of the ozone depleting substances. Initially, the focus was on CFCs, but very soon it was noticed that apart from CFCs, there were so many other gases which were depleting the ozone layer, and this was recognized as a major problem by several countries, and they took the initiative, and under the aegis of UN, several conferences were held in Europe, in Versailles, and subsequently in Montreal. A protocol was signed, and protocol means a legally binding document, and I'm very happy to say that the scientific journals as on today, they are very optimistic, and they have many a time they have released that the ozone layer is, the depleted part of the ozone layer is under repair. It is recovering. So there is hope. So that was way back in 87, then 92 Rio conference. Then Rio conference was a fairly significant one. Now we come to the year 2000. Now year 2000 is very important, friends, because all of us, myself and all of you, we were all a witness to the end of a millennium and the birth of a new millennium. That is, it was not just a change in the calendar. It's not just a new year. It is not just another 1st January, but it meant the end of 1,000-year period and the beginning of another 1,000-year period. That is why the focus then was on the new millennium. At this stage, United Nations had commissioned a report trying to understand the position of the poorest of the poor, and their report, it's known as the Millennium Report, and that particular report focused on the essential needs of the poorest of the poor. Having taken note of that particular report, UN gave a package, enlisted 8 problems and told the nations of the world that overcoming those 8 problems should be the goal of the nations in the first 15 years, 15 years of the new millennium. Now, what are these 8 problems? Number 1 is poverty, illiteracy, thirst. Thirst means regarding drinking water, and PIT. Then C stands for child mortality, which includes mother and child care. Then H is hunger. Then we come to diseases. Diseases, since we recovered from pandemics, we know how devastating it was. So diseases is a very important thing. Then environmental degradation and and women exploitation, suppression, marginalization, deprivation, etc., etc. So these are the 8 major issues. Um, and these major issues, particularly among the poorest of the poor, the problem is extremely serious. And in fact, we humanity should hold our heads in shame that a great majority of the people still live in extreme poverty. Okay, friends, now we come to 2015. 2015 is important because there were two major conferences in Paris. The first one in September, it gave the world a new package, and this is known as SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. These are 17 goals. I'll come to it slightly later. And these goals are extremely important. The nations of the world that met in September in Paris, the entire world endorsed it. India also is a signatory to this. This is the first conference. The second one, it was in December. It is known as the famous Paris Accord. This is regarding climate change. Definitely, there has been a lot of progress at Paris on that particular issue, and it is recognized as a major milestone in humanity's march in order to contain the increasing global warming. So, friends, these are the two major conferences, and again, in this connection, I just wish to bring to you another book which has been published. Um, and that book is nothing but a major conference which took place in Johannesburg in South Africa. And the discussions were about uh, what 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 is the future humanity is looking at. So that report which has been published in the form of a book is named The Future We Want. The Future We Want. I request all of you to note and make a copy and then keep it on your study table, because this will be something like a guiding factor in the days to come. I wish to bring to your notice certain major publications which have been highlighting this wonderful subject. There is in Washington, there is one, it's known as the World Watch Institute. It was in Washington. It functioned from 1995 to 2017. And every year they were publishing a wonderful report. And the report was entitled The State of the World Report. I had the opportunity of reading all the reports because I love to read those wonderful reports. It's an annual report, about 12 to 15 articles normally the report would carry. apart from book reviews and other things. And these articles are really world class. I request all of you to now. There is no agency in the world which is doing this wonderful job anymore, and therefore I see the big deficit. If some of us can come together and do the needful, that would be great. So then we go further, and here I would like to focus on what's happening in the world now with regards to the SDGs. So what are these SDGs? SDGs are 17 in number. I'm not going to rush through as I did with regards to the MDGs because we are right now halfway in our attempts to realize the goals. 2030 is the deadline. 2030. 2030 is the deadline. We have approximately another 7 years to go. And all of us